The 2MD, that means a 2-minute drill. It is time. We welcome Fox Business's Sandra Smith. She's had a long day. Thank you for being here. FDN Financial's Lindsay Piegza, Babb Group founder Dani Babb, and in Phoenix, Arizona, Toby Smith of ChangeWave Research. Don't you dare let that satellite let us down, Toby. Thank you very much. All right, first up, this is breaking news. According to the Associated Press, Iran is close to clinching a deal to clandestinely, not so clandestinely anymore, import 1,300 tons of purified uranium ore from Kazakhstan. The AP says such a deal would be significant because, according to an independent research group, Tehran appears to be running out of purified uranium. Now, any attempt by Kazakhstan to export uranium violates UN sanctions. The UN says it is aware of the pending deal but has no official plans to act. Should the U.S. take steps to prevent this from happening? Sandra,
I wonder what they're going to do with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, obviously.
For nuclear energy, I'm sure.
Yes, they should. A peaceful nuclear program, but now we've got secrets being traded, people involved, money being transferred. Absolutely, this should be stopped.
Lindsay?
Should we take steps? Yes, but will they? Probably not. We consistently see a very passive stance from this administration.
Although
getting them to the table to talk, they consistently tell us to go home. They're not interested.
Talk is talk. You're right. And talk is cheap. But there was that speech at the Nobel Prize Committee meeting where he said, you know, there is evil in the world. We have to step. There are justified means of action to prevent bad people from getting bad things.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if we couple this with the people's uprising, maybe this is the time for us to jump in, do something, actually back the people there for a government that's democratically elected and that we can support.
Toby, this is the time. Will we take action?
Well, you know, David, if we didn't have two wars going on and getting out of a recession, perhaps. But, you know, we can't, our economy can't take $150 oil. And if the plans that are in place for Israel to go in and, you know, take 28 different locations out and all that stuff that we've talked about for years, we'd have $150 oil or higher.
Toby, compare the cost of $150 oil with the cost of a nuclear explosion here or even in Israel.
Yeah. Well, David, your point is exactly right. It's minuscule, but I think that there are other ways in Iran to just scuttle that plan. I mean, there are all these things are underneath bunkers. We know that. You know, we don't need to go debilitate Iran the way many of the plans have been talked about. We need to take this damn thing out, and we need to do it. You know, tell them
so
you got 30 days
for taking this out. But what about the big kahuna, taking out the nuclear plants with which they're making nuclear bombs?
Yeah, I think that we've reached a point now, David, where somebody needs to step in here. We can't continue to let all this just happen behind closed doors. We've got to do something about it.
Or any door, open door or not.
Open door or not. Well, photographers snapping pictures of First Lady Michelle Obama wearing $635 designer shoes on the Obama's $4,000 per night Hawaiian vacation. Now, the critics pointing out that President Obama has lectured Wall Streeters on living like kings while so many people are out of work. So is it fair to criticize the first couple for living like kings on their Hawaiian vacation?
Well, I'll
Lindsay?
take any opportunity to criticize the president or the administration. This is absolutely ridiculous. He considers himself a man of the people, lecturing Wall Street on these outrageous parties and spending, and here they are going off on this luxury vacation, designer outfits. It's absolutely ridiculous.
But, you know, the hypocrisy is so transparent. I'm just wondering if in this case, you know, everybody's guilty of excess.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's not out of work. And second of all, maybe it was a Christmas present from her husband. Who knows? Or maybe even a family member. We don't know. Of course. I mean, you try walking around for hours at a time in really cheap shoes. I'm telling you, it hurts. I don't care.
Were those the shoes that they just showed?
I don't know. But Toby,
I
would think that for less than $600, you could end up walking around without getting blisters.
Those are awful.
God, these women, you just say the word shoes and they go ape crazy, for crying out loud. Hey, you know, she's entitled to wear a pair of shoes. Yeah. He is the president of the United States, and $4,000 a night. I mean, come on, he's you know, that's chump change.
On the other hand, he is particularly susceptible to charges of hypocrisy. It's like he tells us to turn down our thermostat. Meanwhile, he keeps the Oval Office up around 85 degrees because he likes to work without his jacket on. So he's got to be aware. He's got to be aware that there are these charges of hypocrisy.
The country's trying to emerge from one one of the worst recessions in our history. Okay, we're in wartime. It just doesn't look good. Yeah, she should have a nice pair of shoes to wear out to dinner. Fine. $600+. They're in Hawaii. Buy a pair of flip-flops.
Can't you spend less than $600 to get a pair of shoes that won't cause blisters, Danny?
She'd be able to.
We used to make fun of her when she wore $30 dresses.
Right. Remember the J. Crew thing?
Okay, so pick one. Pick a side.
You're saying she can't win either way.
She can't
There's got to be something in between a J. Crew and a $600 shoe.
But, you can have
look
or
a little
maybe a
more
couple
reasonable
of
when they're
$600
being
pairs
so
of
critical.
shoes.
Toby,
and then a
wouldn't you
couple of
love to be in the
$200
middle of
pairs
this
of
argument?
shoes.
All right, he's out there.
I'm
Let's see
telling you,
yours,
this
Toby.
should have been a buy, sell, or hold topic for us, right?
All right. Well, Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack is having his staff revise a forecasting model showing that climate change legislation would make planting trees more lucrative than producing food. Now, the department's study found that while it would profit farmers in the long term, those profits would come as a result of higher crop prices. So the point is, panel, which would you rather have? I mean, should we have these cap and trade rules that force farmers to leave their farmland furrow and turn them into forests or not?
Absolutely not. Nothing good comes from restricting supply and demand. Let the free market determine it. We don't need any more of these restrictions to grow forests or limit crop cultivation. Absolutely ridiculous.
Danny?
Yeah, let the farmers decide what's more lucrative for them, not some Joe Schmo secretary. Tom.
Toby?
Oh, come on, Danny, you're so harsh. Look at we're already spending we want to spend $100 billion of corporate money to buy carbon offsets. What would they be buying? They would be buying trees. Now those trees would be in the Amazon, and so it begs the question: is Obama more about trees or about jobs? I don't know.
Well, but the point is, should we have trees supplant farmland in the interests of cap and trade?
This is a tough one. This is not a. No, hey, Toby, hold on. This is a very tough one. I love my farmers. Farming in general in the United States cannot go away. We need to continue to produce food. And to say that this is the way to go and eliminate producing food in this country would be a huge problem. Not to mention there would be huge outlash.
So from what you're saying, it's not even close.
No, not even close.
Farmland should remain as farmland.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't subsidize
It's the heartland of
planting
America.
trees there.
Well,
for
remember,
that.
this wasn't to eliminate farmland in general. This was to limit the amount of
But it would limit it by millions of acres.
Right. But it wouldn't eliminate it entirely.
By 59 million acres, which would increase food costs by 4.5% by the year 2050.
Ain't worth it in our judgment. All right, well, coming up on deck, get ready to party hard on New Year's Eve and enjoy every moment of it because we are taking a hard look at 2010. And unfortunately, you may not like what our professional fortune teller is predicting will happen next. But you'll want to hear what he has to say, so stick around for that. And we want to know what you think about states blocking the health care bill. You heard it in the first segment. Is it a buy, a sell, or a hold? Text your answer to 369-249. Your answer's coming up.